Hello my lovely gamers, my name is Jonal, and today we're taking a look at how to actually use Dragon Blade, how to master it, how to get better with it, how to practice it, and in general the concept behind Dragon Blade. But before we start that, I wanna do a quick announcement. Thank you to all the new subscribers here that's supporting the channel, and welcome to all of you. Hope you guys enjoy your stay here. And as some of you guys know, I want to say sorry again for the low amount of content I've been uploading lately because of my exams. They're soon done, then I'm moving, and then my upload speed should go up to what is at least regularly, or at least a little bit faster if that's possible, since I will have my summer break. I will have to see how it goes with work and all that. But hopefully the upload will start coming more frequent than what they're doing now. And then lastly, I also wanna say that thank you, because we hit 1,000 subscriber, and since it was so accepted on Discord, then we're gonna do a Q&A. So if you have any questions to me, then you can drop those down in the comment, tweet them at me at Twitter, or go into discussions on our Discord server and ask them there. That way you can get your questions out, and I might be able to respond to some of them. Now with no further ado, let's just begin. So there are two types of Dragon Blade. There's the regular Dragon Blade and then just Nano Blade. Now we're gonna look at the normal Dragon Blade most of the time, and then take a look at the Nano Blade a little bit later on. Now the first stage is to get your Dragon Blade initialized properly. Now, this is normally done with either dashing up into the air, or dashing onto a target, or using Swift Strike in some kind of way. However, you can of course use any other way as you want to. This is very creative. How we're gonna take a look at dashing and only focusing on that, since that's what can I say, more the harder part of doing it, where you can drop from a rooftop or just go behind them in Dragon Blade. It's really up to you, but we're gonna focus on dashing in this video. Now there are two primary ways of actually doing the dash. Now you can either dash straight up into the air, which is very frequently seen, or you can dash more onto your target. Now, of course, again, you can be creative with your dash. You can do a lot of different ways to initialize it with a dash, but these are the two ways that we're gonna focus on. So the first one is, of course, as I said, dashing up into the air. Now the pros of this is that you get an overview of the situation. It is an easy way to get to your target without risking or getting hit by something on the way. Even though this is rare, it always feels bad if you dash into and get hit by a Reinhardt hammer, and then you already start losing HP. You Swift Strike into a Fire Strike as you want to do it, or sometimes you even do it to dash into a random sleep dot or something. So it's a good way also to make sure that that doesn't happen. And then, which is the more important way, it's easier for your support to actually see you, so that you can get a Zarya shield and you can get nano boosted much easier. Now the cons of doing this is, of course, that the enemies see you even before you pull Dragon Blade, and even before they hear you pulling Dragon Blade, they know that the Dragon Blade is probably coming, and they can also poke you down quite easy with a small amount of damage. For example, you can get targeted by a Torbjorn turret, so you're already at lower HP. And the worst part, if it's done incorrectly against a good player, it can be very easy to actually counter with CCs, movement, and other ways, you know. So it's also something that has a little bit of a higher skill gap than just normally dashing onto the target. So how to use this way of Dragon Blading? Well, first, of course, you run about, you try to pick out the target that you want, try to find the target that you want to kill. You can go in blind, but having intel on where stuff is, or at least approximately where stuff is much easier. Now you also want to pay attention to potential counters, such as ultimate, such as tactical visor, transcendent, and also kind of what heroes does the enemy team have. Do the enemy team have a Roadhog? Do they have a McCree? What do they have of other heroes that you might want to focus, or stuff like that? That can also be very good to pay attention to before you do this. And when that intel is gained, then you want to just dash up into the air. You want to try to get, you know, in a good position to your target. Locate your target while you're up there, and also while you're up in the air and pulling your Dragon Blade, you want to find potential targets to chain onto, and you also want to find potential threats. So for example, if there's McCree standing next to that Zenyatta that you want to dash onto, then you have to, okay, he might have flashbang, and if he has flashbang, then that can CC me and really fuck up my day. Also Roadhogs and other stuff, so you want to make sure that you know what kind of potential threats there are around you, and also what potential target you can chain on. So if your plan is to first kill Diana, and you know that the Zenyatta is around the same area of Diana, then you can be like, okay, I'm gonna kill Diana, and then I'm gonna try to go for the Zenyatta, and he is on like the left side, a little bit behind Diana. So somewhere on the left side the Zenyatta is probably gonna be, so when I kill Diana, I can dash onto him and continue that streak, and that's both supports out of the picture. And then you wanna either fall or dash onto your target. Now, if you fall onto your target, that means you don't use Swift Strike, you just fall directly onto it. This of course does that you have your Swift Strike in your bank, It also does, of course, they can shoot at you while you fall. It takes more time of your Dragon Blade to actually fall down on your targets. A lot of the time, unless you dash up into air in a very low angle. But normally it will take some time of your Dragon Blade if you fall into your target. However, it's easy to keep your eyes on the target. It's very easy to do. And you also keep your dash. Now, if you dash onto your target, of course, you cross the distance very easily. You get there rapidly. You don't waste any time, however you waste your Swift Strike. So for example, if there's a Lucio, he can boop you away, and now you have no way of getting back that space. So you can actually ruin your entire Dragon Blade because of this, or lose more time by using the dash. Also, if you're doing it on something like a Mercy, you will dash onto the Mercy, you get off one swing, and then she just flies away from you. So you have to kind of look at it, but the good thing about it is, as I said, they don't have time to shoot at you. Of course, you also have to think about if you dash and they sleep dart. So if you're okay, I'm gonna target Diana. She looks up at you. If you dash now, you might dash straight into the sleep dart and just fall asleep instantly unless you have Sorry Shield. So you have to think a little bit about it when you dash. You have to be very careful. And if you're not really good at dashing, then this is something that you need to get used to, because when you dash, it can be very hard to very easy to lose your target if you're not used to it. But of course, it's a very situational pick. Now onto the second way of initializing the Dragon Blade is, of course, to dash onto your target. Now the pros of this is that you get faster onto your target, and you normally also get that extra damage because you will Swift Strike onto it. So your initial Swift Strike before your Dragon Blade will hit him and deal 50 damage. If you're Nano boosted, that's 80 damage, so that can be really good for you. It's also really hard to see you coming before you actually pull your ultimate, because you will dash, not everyone will get that with them, and then they will hit the Dragon Blade go off. So instead of dashing up into there and be a big target, you get onto the target instantly, and it can be a little bit of a surprise. Now the cons is that you can be randomly hit by damage, CCs, however this is still rare as I talked about, but you can dash into like a fire strike and then you take 100 damage before you initialize anything. And it's also really hard for you to get an overview, so you won't be able to map the enemy team. You will have to do a lot more reconnaissance on the ground before you dash, or do reconnaissance as you're killing, you know, the target you're on. And of course, it's also harder for your team to support you with their Sorry Shields and Nano Boost, because they can be teammates of yours that are blocking the way. So unless you know that you're gonna get that and you're good communication with your team, it can be hard to actually do this with Nano Boost and stuff like that. Of course, when I play on my team and I'm on comms with my support player, I'll just Nano Boost me now and he'll give me Nano Boost before I engage. But for example, for my Sorry, it can still be hard for my Sorry because my Reinhardt may be taking up a lot of the space on his screen, so it can be hard for him to actually see me and give me that bubble in time. Now, how do you then execute it? Okay, so you still want to try to, as I said, to pick out a target, possibly try to find out who they are, locate threats near to you, potential hero that you can chain onto, and such like that. Of course, know some of their ult economy. Do they have Transcendence? Do they have Tactical Visor? Do they have Earth Shatter? Right, all of these small abilities. Try to find out if the enemy Ana has a abiotic grenade. Try to find out if there's a Sorry Shield. All of this is, of course, very good, and the more info that you have, you know, the better and the easier this will be for you. After that, then you of course want to dash onto your target and then pull your ult and just start swinging. Start swinging, try to get kill. And as soon as you get that, you want to chain onto the next target. Of course, also remember to get out before you die, especially since there's a risk that you have taken damage. Just initializing this dashing into a Reinhardt Hammer or Winston or something, does that you want to be extra sure that if you're taking this damage, you have noted that, okay, I'll get out a little bit earlier, so I'm sure that I don't die. I had gotten 1-2 picks, I'm out now, so that I can get healed up and continue to stay in this fight. Now, it's very important to note the dashing, and this is what most Genjis does wrong. Because it's not hard to look at the Ana and if you're in range and just hold left mouse button. That's not hard, that's very easy, everyone can do that. The problem is to actually get a good location and get a good position on the support hero. So you want to watch out for your dash, right? And that's why you have your initializing dash. So you dash either onto him, you dash up into the air. Then you pull a Dragon Blade, and now you have one more dash. If it's a Mercy, then as I said, the Mercy might fly away from you. So if you use the dash of your Dragon Blade very early on, then you might fuck this up, and then the hero that you wanted to kill just flies off, and then you won't get that kill unless you can kill secure someone else. And good teams will spread out. They will be, okay, the Genji is trying to chain onto me, I'll try to move away from my teammates, right? And if you get booped away by the Lucio, then all this can be fucked up by you using your dash too early. And then there's also more just pick a target. If you can't get to the Ana, or if you kill this Ana, don't look for any other target. Just look for a target and then go onto it. right? Don't start like looking around for 2 seconds, because you only have these 6 seconds of your Dragon Blade. That means if you kill the Ana and you can't find anyone else, but you see the Zarya, then you can just dash onto the Zarya and try to kill the Zarya. Because it's much better that you deal damage to a tank, or try to kill the tank and try help out your team, than it is for you trying to locate a target that you know you won't be able to kill. Also, one of the things that a lot of people don't do is that if you get onto, you find your target, you dash onto it, you kill it, and then you can just dash toward whatever your team is attacking, because then you can help your team deal damage and get more kills. It's not you getting individual kills, but you are helping your team with 180 damage per swing, and that's a lot of people don't understand, that they use Dragon Blade and then they try to get all these solo kills because that's what they want. But if your team is fighting 2 tanks or 3 tanks, and you just kill the Ana, just dash onto these tanks and help your team deal damage and kill them so fast, because you don't get solo kills, but your team is killing 3 of their tanks. Then after that, then your team can kill all these other hit scans and players that you would have wanted to kill with the initial Dragon Blade, right? Of course, if they have a Mercy, then try to kill the Mercy first, which you actually can't use Resurrection. Now, regular Blade is based on a 2-swing kill. On any 200 HP hero, you need 2 swings with your sword. It doesn't matter if you swing and dash and then swing again. It's still 2 swings with the sword, because you only deal 120 damage with your blade and you deal 50 with the Swift Strike. That means 170 damage combined onto whatever hero, and you will need to do a second sword swing anyway. Therefore, you can, to a certain extent, say, especially against 200 HP hero, the dashing, when you use a regular Dragon Blade, is kind of useless to deal damage. It's only good for transporting yourself from one hero to another hero, or to, of course, dodge some kind of incoming hooks or something. So just note that, because a lot of people, as soon as they see, okay, I'm on this Ana, they swing, they dash, and then they swing again. And that's where the problems a lot of time comes for people, because they swing, they dash, and then they get booped by a Lucio. That's the reaction time of the Lucio, and then they're like, okay, I can't close this gap fast enough, so I have to run. That's 2-3 seconds off my Dragon Blade. I got 1 kill by the Ana, and then I got my Swift Strike reset, instead of actually being able to kill the Ana and then kill the Lucio straight after. And when it comes to Nano Blade, a swing and a dash is 255 damage, meaning that you can actually just swing and dash almost anyone. As long as it's a Bastion or a tank, you're good. This does that, for example, if you dash up into the air, you can dash, you pull your Dragon Blade, then you can dash straight down and then cut, because normally no one will have time to push you away. As long as you don't get hit by any CC mid-dash or anything like that. So if you have a Zarya shield, then you're normally good. That will kill whatever you're looking for. And then you can just continue to that, just dash, cut, dash, cut. And that's the only combo that you need to kill any 250 HP or lower heroes. So, a quick summary of everything. There's 2 ways to initialize. You can dash up into there, you can dash straight onto your target. If you have a Dragon Blade that is not nano boosted, then just use your swings and then use your dashes to transport over to the next kill that you want. Try to save those Swift Strikes and don't just spam them, because it won't matter if you do, and you're just setting yourself up for failure if you do. Nano boost, then you can start dashing on the 250 HP heroes or lower, because you know that the dash will kill them. Dashing up into the air is, one of the more known one, especially for Nano Blade, because you can get seen more visually by your teammate. However, dashing straight forward or onto your target as well can work just as good, as long as you have control over the rest of the situation. However, it is normally harder to dash onto your target than it is to dash straight up into the air, so that's something that you will have to practice. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then press like. If you dislike, press dislike. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and if you like the content. Again, I want to say thank you all for the amazing support that's coming here. Drop down your questions for me for the Q&A down in the comments, and drop down your opinions down in the comment as well. If you have anything you want to add or any topic you want me to talk about, then drop that down there. I try to at least watch them. I try to respond to as much of them as I can. Besides that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. My name is Jonal, and as always, keep the enemy in your crosshair.